Hello, it's your girl Olarike. How are you doing? Today, I just want to talk about that there is a time in your life when all you want to do is just to do something better for yourself. All you want to do is to elevate, your status, be it you trying to start a new business, trying to get a new job, or probably going to college. So now I will take you into my diary, how I struggled when I started college. So I'm going to start by saying that for many, many years, I was a stay at home mom. I was this woman that would, make lunch boxes and, take your kids to school. And then when you come back, I go into the shop, I get a soft shell magazine and a cup of tea in hand, and I just kind of, had fun, watch programs on TV, probably watch Hemmerdale or watch Coronation Street. That was my life. But at some point, I just felt that I had given so much to my children, I had given so much to my family, and I just wanted to do better for myself. So I decided to go back to college. So now, on getting to college, because I had a business background and I had always been my own boss, I had to adjust to the fact that when you're in college, there's a certain way you have to be. Everything is just kind of like organized. There's a time that you have to get to class. There's a assignments and all that. So I had to adjust to that. So, and on the other hand, again, I wasn't that person that really understood, political life. I was just this girl that was this soft girl. So that was an issue for me when I got into college as a social work student. But there was a time that we were given an assignment to do in college, and it was about radical, I think, radical social work. And it was about, just talking about probably religion. Like you can talk about Catholicism, Protestants, and, as a Nigerian, I didn't really understand how to go about that. Though I went to some of my classmates and they explained it to me. But I think one thing that I did that I survived on was the fact that I had to be authentic to who I was. I knew there was something similar happening in my country. So all I had to do was just to navigate that assignment to what I knew back home. And it was just talking about religion, how, religious people take advantage, of poor people when they do go to the extreme to just ensure that they get money from people, notwithstanding if they had money or not. So it's just about, talking about extremism. But the point is that I was able to tap into the knowledge that I had back home. I could have tried to write about Catholicism and Protestants like an Irish person, but I might just write it in such a way that I'm not confident about what I was writing. So my point is, I think being authentic, being true to who I was, actually helped me in college. And I think in the same light, even if you're doing business or you're doing whatever, or you find yourself in a space where you really don't know how to navigate, even as an immigrant, I think the most important thing is for anybody just to show their true self. Just be authentic. Yes, you would learn, but you do it at your pace. So that whatever you do, you just make sure that you put your stamp on it. And I could remember when I submitted the assignment, I got a very good grade. I was actually surprised because thinking that these are Irish teachers that were marking the scripts. So in a way, I just want to say out, just you being your true self would really help you to successfully, go to college or to successfully start your own business. Even if you're starting your business, about you asking yourself, what do you like? What kind of business would you like to go into? If you can get that, then you're going to soar. You have to be able to do what you understand, what you know you can confidently stand behind and say, okay, yeah, this is it. This is my craft. I've done this. I love it and I like it and I can stand by it. So I think it's very important that we all are very authentic with what we do. In the midst of the crowd, we have to show our authenticity. Because when you do that, you stand out. When you do that, you're not competing with anybody. You're just at peace with yourself. So I'm going to say this again. Though I was able to bring out my authenticity, I still had other things that I knew that I had to do, other things that I didn't understand. You know, getting into college at first, there are so many things that it entails. Like probably just you trying to navigate where your lecture theaters are, the textbooks you're going to read, you know, you getting, you know, advice from people, you trying to go for, you know, one tutorship or the other. So it was a little much. And in that light, even as a business person, even if you're just starting a new work, that time that you would need to kind of navigate how, you know, the work ethic is, how, you know, documentation is, and all that, I think it is very important. So what I did was I silenced the noise. And what I mean by silencing the noise is that I had to be in a place of peace. Though I knew I was struggling, I had to put myself in a bubble, in a way, so that I can concentrate on studies, so that you can concentrate on work or whatever you want to do. So that was what I did. I just kind of silenced the noise and I tried to find peace outside college. Like, it's not just college. Life is not just about college. Life entails so many things. So in that way, I was able to silence the noise that outside college, outside work, there's still other things that you need to do. There are still other things that you and I can find joy in. So that was how I was able to silence the noise around me. And another thing that helped me was the fact that I was very consistent. I knew I had struggles, I knew my strengths, and I think I worked on my strengths and I kind of worked on my struggles too. And I'm going to explain this. Like, because I was a literature student, I didn't have a problem understanding, reading, you know, books in college. I didn't have a problem with understanding the teachers. Even if I don't, I'll just ask help from the teachers. I'll probably ask my classmates. But I had to consistently decide to show up at every point in time. And I had to work on, you know, my weaknesses. I would say, for one, that my weakness was, you know, computers. Just my computer literacy. I struggled with that a little bit. So what I did was, I think because I knew computer literacy was my struggle, I kind of upped my game in my strengths, which is just understanding and being able to explain and being confident to doing things and being able to understand, you know, what I am doing. Be it if I went for work experience, I knew my personality was my strength. I knew my communication was my strength. So for me, I really worked on that. I leaned on that more. And so that was how I was able to stay persistent. I just continued to show up, even if I was struggling or not. And it's just like in business, so like when you need to start business, it's not as if like the profit will start coming in immediately. You just have to take your time and just be patient and just wait for everything to mature. You wait for that time when you be able to have a lot of customers, or even at work where you'll be able to know what you're meant to do. So in so many aspects of life, you can use consistency to kind of, navigate yourself to the path of success. So I think I really worked with that. And then another thing that I did was accountability. I knew I had my struggles, and I knew in a way I covered up with my strengths, with my communication, with my personality. But I didn't shy away from the fact that I still had to work on my computer literacy. So that was one thing that I did, because at the end of the day, I had to work on that. I am the expert of myself, and however I want to work on it, I did work on it. So taking accountability of your weaknesses, I think it's a pathway to you succeeding in life. Don't say, oh yeah, I am not computer literate because I was not taught that while I was studying, when I was younger. That would not come as an excuse. You have to take accountability for that and say, okay, yeah, I know this is my weakness and I am going to work on it, which is what I did. Another thing that helped me navigate through college was the fact that I reflected a lot. I was always looking back to see, okay, where have I really done well? Where have I struggled? Is there anything that I can do better? Even as a social worker, I think reflection is something that is really required of us. I think doing the course helped me to really reflect. I learned how to reflect a lot. And I think even apart from the fact that it helped me in other aspects of my life too. Because when I reflected, I developed my creativity too. I developed my writing too. Because creativity takes a lot of reflection. You have to be able to think outside the box. So reflection really helped me to navigate my time in college. And I want to say, most importantly, inculcating God in what you do. Inculcating God in what you do. Like, after all is said, things can still go wrong too. You might go to college and be authentic and, silence the noise and be persistent and reflect, and things will still go wrong too. You might fall sick. You might get financially incapable of just staying in college. So apart from you checking all that list, it is important that your well-being is intact. It is important that you're able to do things that you're meant to do. So I knew that after all is said and done, we all have to pray that we'll be in good spirit. We all have to pray that our wish comes true. We all have to pray that we don't encounter unforeseen circumstances that will pull us back, because that can happen too. So that was how I navigated through college. And I just hope that sharing my diary with you would help everybody to know how to navigate theirs. Should you be struggling with one thing or the other, I just hope that my story would incite you, that my story would help you. So, if you like my content, please like my page. It's important that you like my page, because when you like my page, someone else would see it. Subscribe and leave a comment. How have you been navigating life? Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.